Men love to reject you before you can reject them. They love to make you feel like they're rejecting you. And it does create kind of a reaction in you. You have to learn to dump men before they dump you. And some people will say, it's not a game. My page is not for you. Whether or not you think something is a game.
Sweetie, this little ego game you're talking about stopped being appropriate when you graduated the 9th grade. You should really move on from that phase in your life because I assure you, the Chad who dumped you back in high school moved on 5 minutes later while he was doing Stacy behind the bleachers. But guys, I'm gonna say something that you might find strange, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It's better for you if a woman rejects you instead of you rejecting her. What? Because when you reject her or dump her, she's more likely to act out emotionally and she might keep bothering you, either trying to change your mind or trying to take revenge. Now, depending on where you live, her trying to take revenge can have consequences that she doesn't want. But the further west you go, the likelihood of consequences gets smaller and smaller, and her taking revenge could range from her saying bad words to you, to trying to hook up with your best friend, to slashing your tires, all the way to lying to the cops about you doing bad bedroom stuff to her.
That is crazy.
On the other hand, if she rejects you or dumps you, in her mind, she's already classified you as either a dusty, a brokey, or someone who generally gives her the ick, which means she's gonna leave and you won't have to deal with her anymore.
I see this as an absolute win.
My advice, guys, take the win and live your life unbothered by a woman's BS.
Men need to be severely humbled.
Really? Are you gonna do something about it?
You'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing.
Women not only make up 50.4% of the labor force,
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Awkward.
Sweetie, you should really quit while you're ahead, but by all means, continue the cringe.
but they are also the ones that disproportionately do the unpaid labor at home. On average, women do 4 hours and 25 minutes of extra labor every single day that is unpaid on top of their jobs or careers versus the 1 hour that men do of unpaid labor. Who do you think took care of everything when men went to war?
The guys who sent the men to war and kept their own sons from being drafted. But if you're talking about the day-to-day operations needed to keep civilization intact, it was also the men, either the ones who were unfit to serve in combat roles or the ones who already had jobs behind the front lines that were deemed vital to the war effort, like the men who worked in the steel mills, the oil fields, the farms, the mines, the tank factories, and the plane factories. By the way, some of those men were combat veterans that already did their tours of duty. Because you see, men were drafted on rotation, not all at once. Because if all of the men were drafted at once, well, there'd be nobody left to pump diesel into the warships and the economy would have tanked. Now, sweetie, pro tip. Whenever you want to talk about gender equality and quote-unquote humbling men, don't talk about war. Because you lovely ladies have the power to vote people into office who may or may not have full use of their brains. And if war actually happens, the people who will be sent to die in war against their will by the person you lovely ladies voted into office will be 100% male and 0% female. So until you lovely ladies are eligible for the draft, seriously.
Know your role and shut your mouth!
How much should your man make in a year?
Can we make it monthly?
Sure.
At least 100K a month.
You're kidding, right?
Stop it. Get some help.
Isn't that a bit high compared to the average income out there?
Well, if I'm talking about my partner, I don't think so.
Why not?
If I'm making 10K a month, he should be making 10 times more than me. And that kind of puts me in the feminine position.
So, if your man doesn't provide you with a life of nauseating luxury and extreme decadence, you won't be in your feminine? Meaning what? you're gonna grow an eggplant between your legs and suffer from male pattern baldness? Now, while that would be really funny to see, we should really come back to reality. And sweetie, the reality is a man who's making over $1 million a year is out of your league and outside your tax bracket. Meaning, he has access to the most beautiful women on the planet. And a man like that would never wife up a 4 out of 10, no matter how much of a gold digger she is.
You have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting.
Men raging and throwing a tantrum because we don't want kids is so funny because they'll always say things like, you're so selfish. Don't you want to continue on this generation? If you don't have kids, this generation is going to end and all of humanity is going to end.
Sweetie, you can chill. As long as there are women who want to cash in child support, the human species will continue.
And it's like, okay, and? Like, if you want me to have kids so bad, if I provide that much value to the entirety of humanity, why don't I have the same rights that you have? In fact, why don't I have more rights than you have?
Actually, you have the exact same rights that men have, but you have more options than men when it comes to reproduction, ranging from a myriad of birth control options that you probably don't use to the option to unanimously decide to terminate your pregnancy. But by all means, continue to cringe.
Because if I control life...
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Okay, if you control life, pop out a baby. Right here, right now. I'll wait.
That is ridiculous. No, hang on.
Oh, shut up.
Sweetie, let's get real. You don't have control over life. Because without a man giving you the required DNA, you don't even have a pregnancy to keep or terminate. So just like everything else in your life, like that house you live in, the food you eat, and the phone you use to post cringe on TikTok, you don't have it unless men give it to you.
And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.